What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Washed Up Club. I'm here with my fellow co-hosts and co-washed up YouTubers, ZacBaldy, Brenny Beast over
I
here.
was going to cop a guest then.
I
I
I
was
won't do you like that.
our co-host and guest, Brendan.
Yeah.
See, he's so much better of a human than you are in
agreed.
general. So,
100%.
Yeah. Let's see what he has to speak about before you say that. Mate.
I'm really upset about a road law that we have here in Australia, and it pisses me off every single day.
All right.
And it's fully hit me how much it pisses me off today because I was sitting at the lights,
He's really angry.
turning
about this.
left. It's a red arrow, but I could have gone left. Why can't you turn left on a red arrow?
Wait. So you want to just kind of be able to give way, go at your own.
Basically.
Yeah, there's so much.
When I was
things
in
like
Canada, they drive on the right side, so they can turn right on a red arrow.
Mm.
Because you're not going through the intersection, you're just
you're
ducking
doing
around
your
the
own
corner.
little like, hey, this is my
Do you know how
spot.
much better the traffic would flow if we
Yeah.
just did that?
Yeah.
In-
I 100% agree.
In Australia, because I'm so backing of all the road laws, in Australia's defense, have you guys ever watched American dash cams?
Yes.
'Cause
There's so
God,
much
they're way
worse.
more intense than
Yeah,
ours. Are
but-
like, firstly, ours are funny hours because they're like, beep, 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 beep. But then the American ones, it's like car going flat out, other car drives out, T-bone flies through the sky.
Yeah, well, that's why you just look to your right.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
hard.
Yeah, but there's a lot of that with
Yeah,
driving,
but like
isn't
in
there?
Australia, like literally, you watch dash cam compilations, and it could be like some guy just pulling out of a servo, and some guy's 100 meters back going, "Oh, get fucked!"
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
in America, it's like two cars just completely disintegrate into thin air, and then someone's like, "Oh my god, I hope they're okay."
Yeah,
it's
and
it's
less of
ridiculous.
them stop as well.
Exactly right,
It's
just keep driving.
un-Australian
That's just-
to not.
Well, yeah, it is in America. It's probably American to not stop.
To not, yeah.
But it just pisses me off. And
So-
that's why when I allegedly drive through a petrol station, I wouldn't have to do that. I wouldn't have to allegedly do that if I could just
If you
turn
could just-
left
yeah.
on this freaking arrow because
So
I
I'm
get
going to tell you
stuck
something
there.
funny. In Sydney and in New South Wales, most traffic lights there are turn left on red.
I
There
have
is
that
one
same spot.
in Brisbane. There is one in Brisbane on the north end of the city, and no one knows it's there. Everyone just sits there and gets honked at, and no one has a clue. There's one in Brisbane.
But
It's so
like,
dumb. I
how
don't
many
understand
times
it.
are you stuck in traffic because the turning lane is banked up?
Yeah, all the
Every
time.
single day on the way home from gym, I have the exact situation.
Every single day on the way to work.
Servo light that I could be turning at, but they have the cycle, and I'm like, it's a good one. It is a good angry
We have
thing.
slip lanes. So,
Wait, what the hell's a slip lane?
so like
just
where there's
drag race
no
lanes?
left turn, but there's like a little road you can go off to the left and it just like cuts the corner a little bit, and
Yeah.
that's called a slip lane.
Oh, yeah.
We
right.
have them.
Usually-
Why can't we turn left on a red arrow?
Usually they just have a
It's
way sign there
literally
too.
it is the same thing.
yeah.
It is
It
the
is.
same.
All right. That's your one rule. You
Ah,
want. Does Zachary have a rule he would like to add?
Oh, I just want to make like speed limits faster, and I want people to. Okay, all right. I think licenses should not be given out like in Fruit Loops boxes. Going, oh my god, I won! That's crazy. Now I can drive.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous. The amount of people, as you know, the road I'm going to talk about, right? There is one road that both you and I go home on every single day. And it is
I no
a
longer
70, 80 zone, roughly. I think 70 zone.
Beautiful road.
Beautiful road. It's going through all the farmland. It's the one nice road on
High
the way
country.
home. High country.
It is not. It is not the high.
You actually go through the low bit of the high country though, because it is in a valley. So you start off in the low country of the high country, and then you go into the highest part of the high country.
Beautiful
And
views that high
Beautiful
country.
views at the high country because it's not the lowest point of the
Alright,
high country.
moving on.
For the
moving on.
audio listeners, Adam's really stoked about this.
Moving on.
Moving on. So you go through the lowest point of the high country, and then you go up to the highest point of the high country, and you go through all of these really beautiful like left and right turn roads. But the signs come up and say, if it's wet, maybe you should consider slowing down. And everyone's like, holy shit, 40.
Yeah, this is a hairpin corner.
There's a hairpin corner.
But you're
and-
changing
yeah.
of the rule. Like, if the speed limit was higher, I don't think those people would.
Oh
Still
no,
go
the
any
changing of the
faster.
rule
It's
is
an
get people
inconfidence.
off the fucking road. I don't know if that's a law, but I just want to get people
I
off the road
think
that
maybe
can't drive.
like need more frequent license testing so you just
Mhm.
get it once.
I
agree.
think people shouldn't be able to drive in work hours unless they're doing something and have a proper reason.
They need a permit.
like you remember
Like
a
during
few
COVID.
years back where you needed to like, I am going to the post office You know, like, I got pulled over.
You want
Like,
people to be scared driving to work.
yeah, because then they're not gonna like. It's the dawdlers. It's the people that are reactive drivers. Instead of looking at
Yeah.
the lights and going, "That's green. I should start moving forward." They're looking at the car ahead of them like, "He's still braking," you know, and then they react to that, and that's why I'm late.
I reckon people should
Sure,
do
sure.
a defensive driving course before they get their license. I think that's a big thing that people could do because people actually have less accidents. People would be more aware on the road.
I feel like more accidents would happen because people would be like, "I've done a defensive driving thing," you know.
Yeah,
and be
maybe you should just
ego-y.
ban entitled people.
Have
then.
you done one of them?
I have not. I've been on track.
Why did you say it like that? I have not.
Well,
I actually have.
All people need to do a defensive driving course. No, I haven't done one.
been on
I have
track.
no idea what it entails.
Yeah.
I've been on track a few times and I've done
You
like
can't do
Oh.
that.
No, and
You
I've
can't.
I mean,
on a
I've been
wet
in the
skid
most
pan.
controlled environment there is.
I've
is
been on a
not
Oh,
the
you
same.
haven't seen him. He doesn't look very controlled.
I've been on a skid pan before. In the wet. in
Because
the wet,
that's the same.
I've learned how to control my car sideways. I feel like I'm a competent
That's
driver.
not defensive driving.
Bro,
I think if you actually took defensive
just
driving, you'd
saying.
learn that would teach you how to spin out safely, how to, stop safely without
on that
locking up.
road that's 70, okay, I can take those corners at 120. I have found
You're in
out,
a
allegedly,
The
I've got
Starlet
nothing.
will romp
Yeah.
you, mate.
I think I can take those
Allegedly, the
corners
Starlet's hitting 180, mate. Not really. You can't go that fast.
quicker. But yeah, no, I just think more frequent testing, and I think they just shouldn't be given out as easily as they are because I hate people that drive slow and people that aren't competent.
I nearly failed my driver's license.
So did
I
I.
got
Same.
2 criticals.
Can we talk about this?
I
If you
would
get
like to speak
if you
about
get
this.
one more, if I got one more critical, I would have lost my license.
Critical?
So there's
Oof.
there's
You
normal.
get 2 main ones, yeah?
So did you like
Yeah, so
crash
there's
into
normal-
someone once and then go,
No.
"Oh, that's all right"?
yeah, then that one more.
Nah,
How dare you crash
so
into
it's
2 people?
a slip lane situation thing.
Yeah.
Someone had
I don't know
illegally.
what this is.
So you're turning left at the lights.
Yes.
Instead of stopping at the lights, waiting for it to go green, there's a little road off to the side that you can drive across.
No, I don't know what
And
that is.
Adam
What
went
do
through
you
the
mean?
red. Adam went through the red. 'Cause,
No.
That's called a footpath.
But anyway, there was someone illegally parked just after it in the left lane.
Yeah.
So they were like inside of the slip lane. They wanted me, they told me after, so I just drove out onto the middle lane. They wanted me to pull up behind it, stop, put my indicator on,
That's fucked.
and then drive out. So they gave me a critical for that. And then there was a speed bump or something that apparently had a stop sign, but even because I had my like
Yeah,
driving,
they
had my
do that.
driving instructor with me,
Mm.
and then the person assessed he was in the back, and he was like, there wasn't a stop sign there, no way, but I passed anyway. So
You
that
had-
was weird.
Oh, see, I did.
If I had got one more critical,
Yeah.
then I would have not got my license
Why do you have your
Interesting.
driving instructor with you? That's weird.
because it's just something that he offers,
Oh.
and basically instead of you being like real awkward with your assessor, he can just talk to them the whole time.
Oh, all right.
Mad.
That seems.
I dig
right.
that actually.
It did make it a lot better.
You're
But I
driving-
still nearly
He's a
failed.
good driver. That's not a critical. It's a slip lane, not a footpath.
What's good is where you get my driver's license, which is at Murrabak, you pull out into the 5 ways.
Really?
Yeah, you pull out into the 5 ways.
Do one of those go
Yeah, okay.
across to a Yui?
The 3 roundabout things.
What?
Oh, yeah, kind of.
Do you know? that
How
one?
would Zach
Yeah.
indicate out of a
Basically, at
five-way?
this area, there's like 5 ways that come into it. There's 3 individual roundabouts, right, like one after another.
Bro, well, they might as well just fail me. Fail me now. I couldn't pass that.
It actually works really well when you know what's happening.
Did you indicate out of a roundabout during your driver's
No,
test?
because you
No,
don't have
you
to.
don't have to here.
Alright, whatever. Whatever.
It's
Anyway.
a suggestion.
Why'd you nearly fail?
I almost crashed.
Oh,
Mine's so much more boring than
Anyway,
you guys.
I'm a competent driver, I swear. Anyway.
Maybe you took a
Yeah,
defensive
sure,
driving
sure.
course.
Well, defensive driving is basically what happened. In Queensland, I only had an auto car, so I only did my auto driver's test. So anyway, was doing my test, did it for about half an hour. Had to reverse park as part of my test. So I'm like, all right, sweet, no worries. Told me to pull up beside a car. I reversed back and stopped. And then my assessor, he's like, oh, what's this water that's coming out and it's in my footwell? And I'm like, oh, I'm not quite sure. So I put the car in park. I No, I left the car in reverse and I put my foot on the brake. And then, and then he was like opening the door. I opened my door and I set my foot on the brake. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm looking at it and there's water dripping down. And I'm just like, oh, I honestly got no clue. What? Yeah, I wouldn't have a clue. Anyway, we shut both doors and he's like, all right, just take off anyway. And so
Is that
anyway,
his car,
no. This is the driving instructor's car.
like
Yeah.
hire car. Okay.
Yeah, correct. So I ended up, I was on a hill and I wanted to go up the hill. So I had to put like a little bit of accelerator down to try and get up this hill. So anyway, I tried before and I like tried to go up the hill and it wasn't really going up the hill. So I like, okay, put my foot back on the brake and I tried again. And I really put my foot down this time and I reversed straight up the curb, like to a point where I was like a good 90 degrees.
You are one of the people that shouldn't be on the road.
Wait.
Oh,
and
I
that
just
didn't fail you.
I
No,
just
no, no.
accidentally left it in reverse. Oh, I missed the pedal. You're one of those people.
Yeah, pretty much.
Your least favorite person.
Mine is like literally I took the wrong. There was 2 streets, and she's like, and the next right, referring to the one after.
Yeah.
And I went to turn into the wrong one, and that got me critical. Meanwhile, he's ridden off 3 cars, hit a family, and they're like, yeah, there was a leak.
He's only a
though."
small
Nah,
family.
he seems like a nice guy.
Yeah,
we'll give it to
yeah.
him. We'll give it to him.
Once you get to know him.
I got back to the place, the Department of Transport, and he's like, look, I'm not going to write that on your thing because I think I distracted you with the water. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. And I got my license and see you later. Could drive by myself.
I can't believe you pulled that off.
can't
Meanwhile, I'm
believe
nearly
that.
like I was literally. You guys got that stupid name in my head.
Would we?
Literally trying to do my driving test right now.
Yeah, I just turned down started to turn down the wrong street, and I about to dip out of that. So she's like, just go down here and I'll take you a different way. But from then on, I was sweating. I was like, oh my God, I only have one.
How is that nearly a fail? Because I would take next right as in the next right, the one coming up.
Don't hold it for word to word. It was something very similar to like at the next right, and I just mistook. It was me,
Yeah.
but I was like freaking out from that. Meanwhile, you guys have demolition.
I
derby.
didn't do anything. He
Yeah, fair point.
nearly took out a family.
Yeah. I didn't hit any cars.
They
I
had
just went
2
up the curb a little
strollers,
bit.
3 kids.
I had an idea while Zachary was speaking about the rule on the road I would change.
Yeah.
You should be able to bump people.
I agree.
Oh yeah, I can
Imagine-
that'd be good.
Not
Straight through the
like,
glass in the back.
Someone's not going at the lights. Just push them.
So I've always had this theory, right? I reckon if we eradicate cars one day, right? Get rid of all cars, right? You know, Dodge 'em carts that you can take at like
They're
the things that
banned now.
Are they really?
Well, you're not allowed to dodge them in them. You're meant to just drive in
What?
circle. Yeah, sorry. Victoria,
You can't
Are you
dodge
kidding?
them
they
cars.
tell you not to crash.
The whole point of Dodge 'em cars.
You all have to go the same
Dude,
way and not crash.
You go out there trying to kill people. That's the goal of Dodge 'em cars. Is you want people to die.
Well, you
That's
weren't
the goal.
at REIT at the time, but you'll find that they actually use go-karts as Dodgem cars when you work with us. That was positive. Meanwhile, you're not allowed to use the bumper cars to bumper anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, so yeah, my theory was if we eradicated cars, we could put chicken wire over all the roads and we could literally just ride Dodge 'em cars to work.
That seems
No.
more plausible than flying cars.
Yeah, because
Yeah, it actually
we could
does,
run
but-
into people and imagine we wouldn't need traffic lights because everyone would be like waiting to go there and just fucking bam, that's good. But then if there was a big crash on the highway, right, and let's say that a big Dodge
You
'em
could
car
just
crashed,
keep ramming them.
people died, everything like blood everywhere, right?
Okay.
Okay, you could turn off the chicken wire on the top and everyone would come to a completely neat and safe glide to an end, all at the
I'd
exact
love it. I'd
same
love it.
distance.
I am not being late for work because other people can't drive and they turned off the chicken wire.
Mate, if there is a crash in a Dodge 'em carts, I'm just going straight through them.
Yeah,
enough.
yeah.
Alright,
That's what they're built for.
You want to
Ping
create
it till we
more
through,
injury.
mate.
So you reckon more people would get injured in Dodge 'em carts on the way to work than regular cars, though? I feel like it'd be a more fun, more sustainable, and better way to go to work.
I can't think of a better way, so I'll just agree that is a better way.
Unless
Because right now I
everyone
hate
literally
it.
had electric scooters, but I think a lot of people would die on them.
I've always wanted to get a little moped.
Yeah, that'd be
I'm
fun.
like, "Nah," but I don't trust myself or other people.
Yeah.
I'm not I'm a super alert driver. I'm always like, but if they ran that red,
Yeah, if they
where am
reversed
I
up that
positioned?
curb.
If they
yeah.
reversed up that curb, yeah.
I'm 100% with you, but I feel like that'd be really
Definitely holding that against you.
All right, go for it.
Yeah.
Every time he's in a car, is he in reverse?
I've drifted a car and you can't. So just saying.
I could give it a crack.
You could give it a crack.
Give
It's
it a crack.
easy.
Yeah, you've
Anyone
told
can
us
do
it's
it.
Yeah,
easy.
you've told us
so
it many
I've
times.
already
that doesn't
retired from
frustrate me
drifting.
at all.
But you
by
know
the
what's
way.
hard? Putting your
What?
car into drive.
Yeah.
that's really hard.
Damn it. It started.
We got this.
God damn it.
So I had a thought.
Yeah.
This whole podcasting thing, now that we've mastered it,
Yep.
we've got a built set
Yep.
for our viewers. Buy your Sticker Socials Washed Up Club decal today and sticker coming soon. What is one thing that surprised you? Because a lot of things have really surprised me about this, like how the structuring of the speaking and how naturally it's come. It's really surprised me. I thought, what's one thing that stood out to each of you that you've loved about it? One thing you've not really enjoyed, which I know what Adam's is going to be.
I've got one for each. So
Here we go.
one, well, it's not really a bad thing, but one thing that did surprise me is like sitting down here with the three of us, no distractions, and just talking. It's very confrontational to me because like I'm not very good at talking to people. But like
I didn't want to say anything.
I'm sitting here and I'm just looking at you and we're talking. I'm just looking at you and we're talking.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like to me, that is not a normal thing.
See, I switch off. Like, as soon as we finish this, my brain's like I'm in another
Yeah.
land. That's why the only thing I'm mentally doing is try not to interrupt.
You and me
Yeah.
both. Our
Trying to be
social
clear.
threshold is like, it's like
Yeah.
100%. And it's like, okay, well, don't talk to me ever again. I'm
But
going
like,
to go to work.
I don't think I've ever really been in an environment where it's like pure just talking
Conversation.
conversation, nothing
Yeah.
else.
I
So
like
that-
that.
that-
That's a really good one.
That was something that took me by surprise when we first did the first one. But then a good thing that surprised me is how much everyone's been getting around it, like at
Yeah,
work
yeah,
and like all
definitely.
family and friends. So thank you everyone who
Yeah,
I
has
appreciate
supported
it.
us,
Thank
We
you all
do
of our work
appreciate it.
colleagues
Yeah.
that, yeah.
listening to it at work.
Speaking of work colleagues, Josh, you borrowed my gym towel 3 months ago and you said you'd bring it back washed. I've started a whole podcast in the time you haven't washed my gym towel.
I thought he gave that back to you.
He does
No?
not. Do you have any? I honestly think your negative one's still kind of a
It's-
positive taking from
It's
it.
not. It wasn't really an anything. It was just a
Surprising.
I didn't really think about that. The negative one for me is the amount of editing, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't have a negative because I haven't edited yet. I honestly don't have a negative about it. I thoroughly have enjoyed everything about it. And it's been good because I don't see you guys enough, you know?
I just don't have enough conversations with you guys.
Exactly right. I mean, we get to work every single day, and I see you guys from 9 a.m. till 5 o'clock every single day, and it's just not enough. I just can't wait. Then we're going to spend each other on the weekends, watching the D1NZ. It's just a good time.
Can't make it.
Yeah.
Dogging.
Yeah, I know. Bernie's dog and the boys. But no, it's
100%.
honestly been really fun. I thoroughly enjoy it. I enjoy everyone that's been getting around it. And we actually had our first couple of people that came up at, I think it was Black Label, and actually said cheers and thank you for doing the podcast because they're actually really enjoying it. I haven't told you guys
wow.
about. I think I told Brenny about this.
I think you told me a bit of it, and you're like, I'm keeping the rest for the podcast, which is that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, at Black Label, I think I had 2 or 3 people that have come and said, you know, good job on the podcast. It sounds really cool.
Does
and-
that
That's
count
good.
as a challenge? I think
Oh,
the
yeah,
challenge
it
has
could
to be
be.
complete random.
Yeah,
Like, I
complete-
found the podcast.
These people
Right.
I
we
don't
can we
personally know.
inform them of the challenge?
Yeah, we can actually. But no, then we're going to have our work colleagues come up and take photos with us and go, oh my God.
No. So the challenge is the first one of us to get noticed
In public.
from just the podcast, not, I see you started a podcast, or, I followed Adam and that's how I found you. I want legitimately the podcast is standing on its own legs. Someone has just been like, I love it. And that person, I get to meet that person. They will get a free decal.
I'll
courtesy
buy
of
you a
Sticker
beer.
Socials.
I'll
I
buy
will
you a
not buy
beer.
you a beer. The podcast does not pay very well.
Yeah, I'm at a loss right now.
Yeah.
I haven't earned any money.
biggest hypocrites when we're speaking out. Don't spend $3,000.
I think that's the only negative that I've found is I haven't had a return on investment just yet, but we're getting there.
But
slowly,
how good
surely.
do our voices sound?
They sound amazing. We don't hear it enough, do we?
Yeah. Well, I do when I edit it all.
Yeah, exactly right. I don't know how
when you
manage.
edit raw and I have to hear myself.
Yeah, because if I have to go through
Yeah.
it, you have to go through it.
That's
I'm going to
fair.
edit out loud, so you're all going to hear
People don't know
yourselves
what
talk.
editing raw means. It's our own little thing.
No, it's when you edit naked.
Yeah,
Exactly what you thought.
It's when you edit with no headphones on and you're in a room full of people and you
Yeah.
just have it blasting out your speakers.
So we work in a room full of 4. It's 3 of us and Jai. And basically, editing raw is if someone doesn't have the headphones on, you can hear the like when you're going through the audio frame by frame. That's editing
I
raw.
think
There's
the
always me.
worst bit is like Adam doing a clip for the podcast, and it's like the
Ah,
start of
yeah.
it. Like, you know what I really think. You know what I really think. And I'm just like, I hate myself.
You get the same thing when you edit with Jason and you edit with everyone, like just people talking constantly and you restart the same clip over
It's
and over
worse
again.
when it's my own whingy voice.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I also get annoyed when I hear your voice too, so it's fine.
Good
No,
thing.
I edit raw all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Don't care.
I dig it when you're playing music and we're just in the vibe. Like, I think it's when we get around to doing thumbnails and I'm like doing the website and whatnot, and we're all just kind of blasting music.
I also dig the
Good
music
vibe.
that we've been playing in the
I do not.
We're playing all sorts in the office.
All sorts
Should
of
should we introduce everyone to noise?
Ooh.
I feel like we should wait for a different podcast. For
Yeah,
that.
maybe a different podcast.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
will. Yeah.
So you've done what you don't like, which is the financial spend. What you do like was
Oh no, I actually physically like doing this. We spend every single hour of our days on our phones and on our computers, and we have meetings for work. But when we started the podcast, we agreed that we wouldn't speak about stuff like what happened on the weekend and happened on this. And it's nice because now we just chill. We don't have our phones on us. We kind of just talk about what happened on the weekend and funny shit that's happened, and it's kind of fun.
See, I think
know,
that's
I'm
a
enjoying
little
it.
bit of a negative side for me. Like
Really?
my
like
level, my negative, like apart from stupid little things like we're just driving around to make things work and like toll roads and whatever. None of that's negative at all to me. The negative for me is like I don't know what I've spoken to you guys about here in previous episodes at work. In messages, I don't know what I've spoken to my friends about, or if I just spoke about it in the podcast. And then it doesn't help that my friends are watching it too, so they'll ask me a question. I'm like, did they watch the podcast, or did I experience that with them? I can't remember. It's completely breaking me, so I apologize if I become repetitive. I'm a mechanic. I'm enjoying the memes.
There
That's
is
my
some memes
enjoying-
going
The
out.
memes are good.
You know, people that are getting on board, getting around it, loving seeing it, and I'm loving it build its own legs. Like I said, is a challenge. Like the person that commented about the SmackDown chairs and the memes that I think like, oh crap, am I being annoying with my mechanic crap? And it's
The
just
amount
like
of memes that are coming out of we have to get to episode number 7. I think I've seen
Yeah,
the most out
yeah.
of anything. I think
Can we
yeah.
get to 6 and then just keep labeling them as 6 the whole time?
we could like
Just never get to
6.1.
we'll do 6-part seasons. So season 2, episode 1.
Can we actually do this? We never get to episode 7 just to piss Sarah off.
Yeah.
I feel like that should be fun. I like that.
But yeah, that just crossed my mind because this overall has been such a rewarding and natural experience that I think we've all kind of felt like it.
I think we've blown our minds with how many viewers we've got in the first couple of episodes too.
Yeah,
To be honest,
I know we came into this running. You know, we've all got experience in
Yeah.
the area and a bit of a following, but like the learning, like just the setup on all the apps is so much, and like
Yeah.
we're all just chipping away at this huge project that we were like, oh, be a little weekend thing, you know, like
1 night a week.
yeah,
It'll be easy.
you record for 2 hours, edit for 2 hours, and it's done. Not the extra 10 hours
Yeah.
plus of editing for clips
Yeah.
and all that. And
but it's okay because
thumbnails.
Adam does that. We don't.
Well, yeah,
it's
yeah.
fine for us.
I do
yeah.
nothing. I don't. I promise I do things.
I just come up with the ideas. That's all I do.
Yeah, Mr. No podcast topic list.
Mister, I have 3 topics on my
I
phone.
still haven't spoken about it yet,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna.
All right, go on, choose one.
I'm gonna work
Choose
on
one.
Tell us one.
Nah,
if
you
you
said-
No, go.
I was gonna say it
He
'cause
doesn't want to use
He
up
doesn't
his
wanna-
3 ideas this year.
I'm saving them for a new episode. No, no. I had one that was I really wanted to touch on because we haven't really spoken
ass.
about YouTube. We haven't spoken about YouTube much at all. We've spoken about
Yeah,
cars. We've spoken
yeah.
about everything as well. But I wanted to speak about we've all gone into YouTube and it was so hard to do full time because it is so expensive. Probably not you because you sit in front of a computer every single day and you're just raking in the money for free.
Not exactly.
Not exactly, but he was. And Adam and I were spending so much money doing it. I was going to ask how the whole YouTube and financial thing affected both you and myself and Brenny as to why we don't do it full time.
Yeah,
Is that a decent enough topic?
'cause
I
it's
feel like it's
Also, for me,
stupidly
I had a
expensive.
similar thought because I noticed that Zachary has more videos than me on my gaming channel. And it had that thought like, ooh, nearly 1,000 videos of car things must not be cheap. So firstly, you stole one of my topics. Secondly,
Hey,
It
I
was
would-
sort
I'm
of
good
one of
like
my
this.
topics too.
I would like to hear about it from your
Yeah,
perspective.
go on,
like,
you go.
how have you made this stepped up from a Ford to an RX-7 to scootering? We were watching some of his old videos the other day at work.
Oh God, really?
After work,
After work,
Jace.
yeah, after work, Jason. I swear. Yeah, so I wanted to put out there that when you're doing, I think we can all agree that automotive YouTube is definitely one of the most expensive YouTube genres you
Well,
can
you
get
could
into.
do burning money.
Yeah.
That might be more.
I
think-
honestly
think
don't
it's
know.
like-
I don't think Adam could burn $6,000 in a day.
I don't have $6,000.
Well, that's the
Like,
thing
I
is
can't
you
do it.
broke $6,000 worth of parts in one day, in
Yeah.
one session, in one video. How did that video return on profit?
Negative
Yeah.
$5,500 or something.
Exactly right, yeah. So
Something like
yeah,
that.
no, it's quite funny to look at it because I think, well, what was your channel like first up? Because I want to
I
find out
think
what a
mine's
gaming
the
channel
most.
was.
So,
Yeah.
gaming channels, at least when I did it, I personally think had a lower pay per 1,000 views because we don't need to be like, oh, CPM. And it
Cost per minute.
at the time, I didn't have a lot of cost of living, so it was never too big of a deal. My biggest hiccup was I was like, I want to buy a Supra. So for
Cars.
yeah.
Cars.
I had bought my first car, which was some Ford. I can't remember the model, so I'm not going to butcher it and say it. But yeah, I learned to drive in that. I remember distinctively reversing out of my driveway, and I had hurt my neck that day. And I think I was at Bounce, trampoline place.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'd hurt my neck that day, and I'm like, don't really want to see how close I am to the tree behind me. So I just reversed into it. And that was my epiphany day. Like, I don't really care about this car. I'm not passionate about it. And I was always passionate about cars. So I switch flipped. I started going on car sales, looking at Supras and whatnot. Didn't have the money in my account, but I had a lucrative little side hustle of doing YouTube full time. Not really a side hustle then. And so I grinded my ass off like 2 videos a day for a month. And I had my biggest
2
month
videos a
ever.
day?
Yeah, my biggest month ever. I legitimately was sleeping like 6 hours a day, and then the rest was making videos. And it doesn't seem crazy, but my videos were not hard to edit because I filmed, like, I only recorded when I needed to. I put F8, it's recording, unregistered hypercam. Bro, is that a kookaburra? Dead set.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Dead
think it is.
set.
Yeah, that's a cool
We are so high country's wild. For the audio listeners that probably didn't hear that,
No.
kookaburra like 100 meters that
Insert
way.
kookaburra noise somewhere there.
Yeah, we'll insert it in post. No, so it like my editing to make a 20-minute video was 30 minutes. And then it was uploading and I was straight back onto 8 hours straight of Minecraft to make that video. So yeah, it was
Such a tough gig.
I
isn't
just
it?
want to say
rough.
So tough.
you can really get exhausted of doing something that much. Like
Yeah.
you ever like sitting there on your phone flicking through TikTok and get to a point where you're like, I just want to like eat something or go up and nope. You got to keep playing Minecraft because you hit 3,000 favorites and that was when you were going to upload the next episode. And yeah, so what happened was that was actually in December, hence why it was my biggest month ever. Because at the end of the year, everyone's paying for Christmas advertising and whatnot. So I buy this Supra. It's got bent rails.
Nice.
Which required a chassis machine to straighten them. Because I was not informed of this when inspecting the car, because apparently it's common in Japan to bog rails if you've had an accident and they like fold in, you just bend it straight and bog it up. So I bought the car, took it to get inspected, and they were like, yeah, you're gonna have to pay $3,000 to get the rails straightened. And then it was January, and I'm like, yep, I'll just get back on the grind, make some YouTube videos.
Make 25%.
Went from my biggest went from my biggest month ever allowing me to buy a car to $1,000.
For everyone who doesn't know, people pay more money to advertise in December, so you get a higher what's called CPM, which is the amount of money you get paid per blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of YouTubers, will do like Vlogmas and they'll upload every single day.
Vlogmas is not for you.
Yeah, it's not for
Vlogmas
you.
is for the person that's creating the content.
So basically, like you have a massive month in December.
End of year highlights.
Then January hits, it tanks. It just tanks.
Terrible.
You get like the views are down, the revenue is down. So say if you got the same amount of views in January as you did in December, you can expect at least half of the revenue.
Yep.
I think I got like over $10,000 in that December. I couldn't remember, so I'm not going to make up a number. But it was enough to pay off what I had. I had a little bit of money in the account and get this car. And then I made 1,000, so 1/10. I remember that number very distinctively. Going, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to pay my bills, let alone fix this car. And so other than that, like YouTube as a gamer was super breezy. You buying a new computer every now and then, which you're getting sponsored or people are supporting you, backing you, live streaming so easy, like it's definitely much easier to do than the stuff you guys do and more cost efficient. That being said, I was a simple Let's Player that just tried to come up with quirky, unique ideas, not so much make high effort and time content. For example,
high effort, high country.
Yeah, high country,
stuff,
high land. Yeah. No, so that, for example, there's RuneScape, a game I've played since I was a young lad. It takes, 200 hours to get a 99 skill in that game. And there's YouTubers now doing like 3 in one video. It's like, where is your time investment getting paid back? Like, and I understand it's a passion project and all this, but if you've got the hope to go full time, kind of have to balance out the frequency of content, like, and mine was pretty bang on with that. Like I'd spend more than the average Let's Player, but less than the person doing a castle time lapse,
Yeah. You have to bring up the castle time lapse, didn't you? How dare you?
It even goes full circle to any of my past viewers and listeners will be like, I know exactly who he's speaking about.
We'll have to show Adam one day, I reckn, the Minecraft castles that we both uploaded onto YouTube.
Yeah.
We want you. So I have my first ever Minecraft world and/or video. We want you to react to our first videos.
I feel like we should put that video straight up on YouTube. We won't make a podcast about it, but we'll do it up straight up on YouTube.
Yeah,
that'd be
just
fun.
a little bonus extra content on the Patreon. No,
One of them. Well, we don't know. We don't know what's coming in 2 weeks' time, do we?
Yeah,
Or something like that.
Inside joke. These decals were not in production as of yet when we first announced them, but I knew they were coming. So I was like, we can announce them.
Yeah.
And same with the stickers that are coming.
Yeah,
but
we have
they're all in the
circle
works.
stickers that are up on the website now.
Yeah, they're on the website. You'll enjoy them.
We haven't seen them yet,
Please
but they're
arrive
up.
in time.
But yeah, no, I wanted to touch on the automotive market because I know there's
that's
a lot
me.
of people that are doing it so hard. Especially, I could imagine Rex H with how many cars he buys, and you with full driving and the amount of fuel that you spend, and my shares in coolant companies. That basically how much we spend in terms of trying to get that money back. I think we could definitely have gone full time if we were doing not automotive, but we were doing.
Did I ever
something along those
tell you
lines.
how much money I spent on fuel on my last trip?
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think you might have, but I'm not quite
So
sure.
I was South Australia.
Yeah.
So we're in Melbourne for everyone listening. It's a fair way across. It wasn't just like this side of South Australia. It was across to like central
Through high
Australia.
country.
It was not through high country. But basically, there's a lot of Ks, and like it was a good trip and everything.
Yeah.
But it was I think it was $1,150 on fuel. So $1,150 just on fuel,
Mm-hmm.
just to drive there and back, which with a lot of sightseeing and everything. But like that's literally just to drive there and back, let alone everything else involved in doing all that. $1,150. Imagine if I like broke something really bad out there.
And how many videos did you get out of that?
Oh, I got 2.
2?
Massive
You
returns.
could like the only way to make it that feasible is to plan out the whole trip around content and go, this
Exactly
day
right.
we're doing this for this video, and this day we're doing this for this video. That's the only way to do it. But then it's not really
It's
a
not a
trip.
trip,
It's a
yeah.
work.
It's-
You're
Exactly
working
right.
the whole time.
Exactly right.
For the people that have never done content stuff, or maybe you've just whipped up and done a TikTok and gone, that's fun. When you want to go to a beautiful waterfall and the whole time you're walking around it trying to get a good shot for
You
a
don't
video,
enjoy
you
it.
don't get to absorb the atmosphere of where you're at. For
Unless
example-
you're Jai and you love cameras.
Yeah. Like it's a different enjoyment. Obviously,
Yeah,
Adam
yeah.
got into this for a passion of that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he was also with his lovely partner, and it does deduct from that.
Yeah, it's
And
just like,
so-
hang on, Maddie, I just got to go film this stuff.
Yeah, I'm just
mean-
gonna go speak to myself with the waterfall. Over. What's up, guys?
Yeah, it's funny because even when you go to like, I just went to that Black Label event last weekend, and you enjoy the time that you're not talking to anyone because you have to go around and film stuff. It's kind of, I don't know. It was
So you
weird.
enjoy you enjoy the YouTube side of it
I
more
guess
than
so.
the people side of it.
You put it such
Yeah,
a bad
that's
way.
what you just said, and I've backed you into
I,
it.
I really enjoyed talking to people there. However, it was nice because I was there for almost 12 hours, just filming with myself, and it was kind of fun. I was just out the back, just camera up. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and it's a cheap video to make. All I had to do was spend petrol, and it was only $100 in petrol that day.
I knew you were going to say that. I was like, don't ruin his joke. Don't ruin his joke. I know where he's going.
And how much coolant?
Actually, not too much, only 50 mil.
Oh, wow.
So that wasn't too bad.
Disgusting.
I have to bring this up as well because I think I'd half told. Who did I half tell
I
about?
think me.
Okay, right.
I
Yeah.
think me.
Oh,
We
potentially.
got a half each.
There you go.
All right, fair enough. So yeah, I did my PWI radiator the other day.
Yeah, I love
Yep.
this.
Yeah.
I laughed so much when you
Fuck
told me
yeah.
this.
So
I don't remember this.
Love my FD. I never have any issues with it, do I? No,
Never.
never have any issues.
Just the one.
It's just the one. So I
The
put
car.
my PWR.
It's an RX-7.
I put my PWR radiator in it, hoping the other day that it has decent coolant temps now, which it's better. I can keep it more consistent, but I forgot to do up a hose line the other day. So I ended up getting to Black Label, and I moved my car out of the way, and it was sitting still, but it's still getting hot. And I was trying to bring it back down. It just wasn't coming back down.
No.
So anyway, I went inside, turned the car off, and there's a little puddle of water on the ground. So I cleaned it up, and I'm like, I wonder where that could be coming from because it's not coming from my car. It was like I don't know where it's coming from, but it was burning off somewhere. So looked in the engine bay. I completely forgot to do up a hose clamp, and it's just leaking everywhere.
What
So-
did I say earlier?
Yeah.
Never leave bolts sitting.
Never leave
Never
bolts
leave a
undone.
hose on.
What did
Yeah.
I
Hose
say earlier? There's one common denominator with all Zach's
Yeah,
cars.
Zachary.
Zachary.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, I ended up just putting that little line back on. I only lost 50 ml of coolant, so it wasn't too bad. Everything was still full. But I also got my AC gas the other day. The entire reason I spent $850 getting this PWI radiator was because I wanted to get the AC working in my car so Sarah could come in the car again because she doesn't.
work, does it?
Oh,
Oh, no.
no. It's a really
The
really
AC
good one.
does work.
The AC works. It works flawlessly. It is ice cold. However, when you're sitting in traffic and the temperature is anything above maybe 15 degrees, if you're sitting in traffic and you got the aircon on or you're driving or whatever, if you turn the AC on, the coolant temperature does go up and it does overheat eventually.
Is your
So-
car modded? Like, is
No,
the
it's
engine...
completely stock with a PWI radiator.
You've got to be
I
doing
don't-
something wrong.
There's
There's got to
gotta-
be something
Maybe you
else
haven't
going
bled
on.
it correctly or
I
something.
have. It's perfect.
Do you need a mechanic?
No, I don't. I
think he
do
does.
this all
I do it
myself.
all myself.
I do it all myself, and it always works. But no, yeah, basically, I can use my AC, and it is absolutely amazing. But you can only use it never
When it's freezing outside.
when it's cold outside.
You
yeah.
probably
It'll
be-
come in handy in winter.
Exactly,
Yeah.
it'd come in really handy when it's like 15 degrees outside.
Mm.
I can't wait to actually use it. But at the
You're
moment, I
lucky
can't.
you got a good summer here, because honestly,
Honestly,
like,
this has been the coldest summer I've experienced.
And I've struggled driving my car this summer. I
you
really
are
should sell it,
gone-
shouldn't
we
you
I?
are
haven't had
gone.
like a 40-degree week.
Yeah,
No.
those.
We haven't
oh,
even had a
those-
40-degree day.
No, not yet.
Today was like the rowdiest day. I had a drip of sweat down my back. I'm like, oh, summer's really hitting.
And I have my jumper on for half the day too, because the freaking aircon's cold. When it even reaches like 20 degrees around here, everyone's like, "Fuck, too hot," and aircon goes on, and I put my jumper on. It's
And
freezing.
then your car
inside those
overheats, and then
offices.
you take your jumper off because it's too hot.
Yeah, pretty much. The BRZ's great because I haven't touched it yet.
You put wheels on it.
I have.
You did all the stereotypical YouTuber mods.
Yeah, it's a full build now. It's got
Actually, I haven't done the
wheels,
exhaust. You
coils.
still got that exhaust maker thing, sound maker thing. Pisses me off so much.
I hate it so much.
You
I
haven't
hate
even
it.
been in the car. And
I
you're
know
like,
what it's
I hate
like.
it so much.
You're going past. I'm watching him on the track. He's like, that's
my-
the sound of his car.
In my car, though?
Yeah, and then in the car, it's like, bum, bum, bum. He thinks he's in full F1 race here going on, you know?
Oh, I love it so much.
You brought to my attention, since
Yeah.
we kind of diverted from the YouTube mechanic thing
Yeah.
a little bit. Have you guys met people, viewers of your channels and had to chat with them and had an embarrassing moment? Because I once accidentally spat on a guy 3 times.
How do you accidentally do that 3 times?
Yeah, that's why. Yeah.
How do you not learn?
So I'm at PAX. We had a booth at PAX, and I met hundreds of people. It was bizarre to think like, oh my god, like, and you're it's like Zach at a car meet, like it's, and you at a mud rustling,
What? Your boot scooting.
boot scooting high country rustling. No, yeah, it's like obviously I'm in my dorky realm, so there's more dorky realm people in that area that know me. And this one lad, I was like speaking to him, and I'm like, my mouth is so dry, so my throat, like whatever happens, is producing extra saliva to not have me like, you know. And I spat on him 3 times. By the 3rd time, I didn't even apologize. The first time, I'm like, I'm so sorry, I just spat on you. And then I keep speaking to him again, and another bit comes out. I'm like, oh my god, what's wrong with me? 3rd time, nothing. I was just like, come on,
This
mate.
bloke's sitting there like trying to hold a
God.
smile.
He's holding an umbrella at that point.
I love pretty
So
things.
nice to meet you.
Yeah. And yeah, you made me think of that
Oh,
with you at the car meet, and it just made me wonder if you guys had any awkward moments like that where you're the,
No, I haven't really, no.
I'm perfect. I haven't.
I don't think there's been any awkward moments. I've met a lot of people though.
I think I've like accidentally maybe upset people like that they recognize me and I didn't recognize that they recognized me,
Yeah.
sort of thing. So I just like kind of like walk past them and you know when you make a quick eye contact and you think it's just an accident and then like 10 seconds later you're like, oh, maybe.
Yeah, but what are you meant to say? Oh, you're a fan of my
yeah,
channel?
yeah, because you
You're
don't
like-
want to be like that.
It's just that I think it's them doing that, like, look, oh, I think that's Adam guy, like maybe they want to approach you, but you're not approachable because you're so angry all the time.
I'm not angry all the time. I'm
Because
just
he's so unapproachable.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm just a very big introvert in public.
yeah, fair point.
So like,
I really thought you guys would, being in like, you're like, I don't know. I feel
No, I
like you'd
haven't
have a
really.
story like, yeah, and some guy just hopped in my car,
nah,
like something like that.
no.
Zachary looks like he's had an epiphany.
yeah, I'm just.
Try not to roast someone.
No. I went to a car meet one time where a lot of people knew me, and I randomly was talking to a whole bunch of people. And anyway, I think those people ended up leaving, and I ended up talking to this one guy who I thought knew who I was, and as it turns out, he had no clue who I was. So I was talking about all these videos that
So
I'd
you
done.
were just like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
I was
no."
randomly. I was that one bloke that was just talking to this random guy, and this guy, I think he comes up. I don't know what he said at the end of it, but anyway, he goes, "Oh
This
yeah,
is
so
actually hurting me.
Yeah.
No, this is Zach's like, so what did you want me to sign? That guy's like,
Oh, it's a big fan, are you?
who are you? What do you want me?
I was speaking about YouTube, and I was speaking about all this stuff and things that you would know if you did watch my channel and stuff like that. And I think at the end of the conversation, he's like, "Oh yeah, sorry, so I'm Bob anyway." And I said, "Yeah, sorry, I'm Zach." And he's like, "Oh, it's nice to meet you anyway. I'm sorry, Zach, wasn't it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, oh
Then-
shit, he didn't know who I was.
You're driving home like, that guy had no clue who
Yeah.
I was.
It was just a very awkward conversation.
That's really
After I
funny.
walked away from it, it was like I couldn't go back and say
That's
I'm
one of
so
those things
sorry,
like you're
but
trying to sleep at night like 5 years later, and your brain's like, "Do you remember that time?"
Obviously, it still affects me.
I had the worst one of them the other day. I'm like, I can't believe I did that. I can't even remember what it was. Like something in school. I did something. I think I like bought like 19 watches because I thought it was cool.
Oh my god!
This is real young. You don't understand. That was cool 30 years ago.
I had 2 watches on each hand. One was digital, one was analog.
Like down my arm because I love like yeah.
I also did this.
Thanks.
one in-
Enjoy my
I
story,
think it
guys.
was-
My
it was
embarrassment.
Year 3, and my mum popped out the prescription lenses in her glasses, so she threw them out, and I put them back on, took them to school with no lenses.
With no
in them,
lenses.
And I told everyone that I could focus better with them on, and the person told me I could. So
Makes you smarter.
yeah, exactly right. So I took mum's old glasses with no lenses to school. That was good fun. I also walked around with a kazoo for a couple of hours. That was
Yeah, I can picture that. I just picture you just being that.
You got to
fucker.
remember that I was the orchestra kid. I was the orchestra kid that no one liked in school.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. You don't know anything about my past, do you?
Nah, not
Nah, no
particularly.
idea.
That's what we're here to learn.
Did you know I can play multiple instruments?
Oh God, I want to say inappropriate things right now.
Alright.
What instruments, Zachary?
What instruments?
What instruments do you think I can play?
I feel like it's real weird shit, like the French horn.
No, it's kazoo.
Anyone can play the
recorder.
kazoo.
Whistle, three blind mice on the recorder, or hot cross buns.
I'm a musician.
I'm a musician.
Alright, go on. What can you play?
I learned how to play the violin when I was in year 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I played it all the way up until I was in year 6. And then I played the viola and the cello and the double bass as well.
You
for my
can't just
orchestra.
name different violins.
They're all
violins.
pretty similar.
It's the same thing.
All right, fair enough.
It's just like I can play the small violin, the medium violin,
Yeah.
the large violin.
The 4 different.
You have the double XL violin.
Yeah, I can play the 4 different sized violins, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And then a little bit of guitar, a little bit of piano, recorder. I can play the triangle. That's pretty cool.
Alternative violins.
Alternative violins, and the flute. I never really got very good at guitar, which is probably the only
I-
instrument that I would want to keep playing today.
I
but-
dig the flute and violin. There's
You
that Lindsay Sterling.
Lindsay Stir. Oh,
She's
dude.
so
Oh.
cool. Have you seen her stuff? She plays the violin while dancing, and I'm like, oh yeah, but you know, you do the playing, then you just
Yeah.
dance after. But she does it live. She's like, and she's dressed up as like a warrior with like 9 dancers in the background. It's so high effort content. It's amazing.
So Lindsay Sterling did a cover with like pentatonics or something like that.
I
though-
really was hoping you'd say with me.
no, with pentatonics. I used to be a big fan of pentatonics because I was also doing like, well, growing up, I was in like choirs and like speech choirs.
Go on,
and
sing a
singing
song.
choir. I'm not singing anything.
Go on.
I've seen your dance moves at work, and
You know something else? I was actually in I was in a musical as well.
Mm.
Do you want to know what?
like a school one or
What
an
did you
extra
What
one?
did you play?
Well, I wasn't in a school one. It was like the school-based one where all the schools would bring their best actors or whatever it is, and they would come and they would do something.
I would have bullied you
Yeah,
in
okay,
school.
okay.
Yeah, I was the one to get bullied at school, but I never did actually, which is funny. I probably should have because I probably would have stopped being such a weird.
I was
Um,
tactical.
You were tactical.
Yeah, I was like, I play RuneScape the second I get home. No one needs to know that. Back in the day, you
Yeah.
got bullied for that.
Yeah, see, I was on stage, so I couldn't really hide from it.
You not
Um,
me.
I was in a musical called Honk, which is like the Ugly Duckling sort of thing. And guess what I played?
Can you tell me your like what age were you doing all this stuff? Because if you're really young, it just doesn't.
I
count.
was 12 to 13.
See, you're getting there. But if
Yeah.
you said younger, because like your competition younger than that was me, and they were like, Brendan, you get to be a tree. And I'm like, yes! I get to sit in choir for like 8 hours and do nothing
So-
and then act like a tree.
I was a goose.
A goose.
Have many lines in that one?
I sung a song, and I think I came back on at the end of it.
Did you play any instruments?
No.
Did
I
we
think,
get through all your instruments?
I think so.
Is triangle actually one of them? Wait, did you
Who,
actually?
who can't play the
No,
triangle?
but I couldn't, bro. I hit it at the wrong time. I just
What do you mean?
I fall on the beat.
It's so
get distracted.
easy.
No.
Okay, all right. So I can play the triangle. If you want to count that as an instrument, I can play the triangle, which means I can also play every single instrument that requires doom, which is probably the drums and everything else. As well.
Gong.
A gong. I can play the gong. But
You
yeah,
know how often
I was like, comes up quite often actually. Yeah, no, I was a goose. I was actually a military goose in Hong.
Now you're a goose at work.
Exactly right. It's just followed me through my entire life.
Wait, a military goose?
Yeah.
Military.
I'm gonna need more information.
So confused.
We got really far from the
I'm so
YouTube
confused
automotive
right now.
topic.
Did. I'm so sorry. So the goal for us was we were supposed to be the task force of geese that was able to find the ugly duckling's mum. And so what actually happened was we set off into a thunderstorm to go try and find the ugly duckling's mum, and actually we all ended up dying. So as soon we came on, there's two people, we sang a song, and then we all went off stage. And then what happened was they set up a big fan and they chucked out a whole bunch of feathers, like we all died. And so yeah, I was a military goose that died in the ugly duckling. That was my
Big debut. I can never say that word. Why do I always pick words? I'm like,
Debut.
what word on the podcast can't I say this week?
I love it. Yeah, no.
All right, back to automotive car YouTuber wasting money, because I don't see how
Yeah.
you have nearly 1,000 videos and no Lamborghini.
So, well, I mean, you look at it in a way that I have nothing else to show for the whole of YouTube apart from the cars that I have, which I have the FDRX7 and the BRZ, which I think is what 120,000 ish worth of cars, which is pretty cool.
That's what it is to you, mate.
Subtle flex.
80,000 in today's market.
80,000, yeah, something
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
In its prime.
In its
Yeah.
prime, it was
120.
like probably 120, 130-ish maybe. I don't know. But yeah, no. Looking at it in an automotive YouTubing standpoint, you would know exactly what I'm talking about here when you, especially if you're living out of home, you get, let's say, $3,000 for being a small YouTuber. You can't work full time and do that and try and earn $3,000 a month. It's ridiculously hard. So I was going out there making videos every single day, bringing home maybe $3,000 to $4,000 a month. And then if you look at it in a way that I was having to pay rent, which I think was $250 a week, so already that's $1,000 gone. So you're left with $2,000. And then let's say the Falcon breaks. Yeah, because it did. You know, sometimes, you would have to replace, if I wanted to put like a turbocharger on it, the turbo, the lines and everything else that went towards it, the tune and everything else as well, that was going to be well over $2,000. So it's really difficult and just super expensive to have an automotive YouTube channel. It's just ridiculous.
Did you make it work by selling merchandise? I know Adam did merch on Livin'.
Yeah, so my first ever merch drop, I failed miserably because I didn't factor in tax.
Yep.
Yep.
Good one.
So what I did was I ordered everything. I did a pre-sale, which is probably the best way to do any sort of merch sale. So
For starting.
for starting out, yeah. So what happened is I went to the company, I got all my merch, and I asked them how much it would cost me to print a shirt, how much would it cost to do a sticker, everything else as well. So then I went back, calculated everything. I said, okay, right, I want this much a return on this. It's going to take me this much time, and then this is how much it's going to cost for shipping to do this and whatever. So I think it ended up with, it was going to cost me a fair bit to do these jumpers and whatnot. So I didn't want to create something that was going to be too expensive for people to buy because it's really hard to buy stuff in Australia. So I started out and I put, I think $70 or $65 in for jumpers and $40 in for t-shirts. And I was a really small YouTuber at the time. So this was my first drop that I'd ever done. Didn't counter in the 10% tax or 19% tax that I should be putting aside. So anyway, I sold, I think, $6,000 worth of products.
So you were going to say 6,000 hoodies, and do you think that's
No.
That would be a lot.
No,
That would be
I
a
sold
lot.
$6,000 worth of stuff, which is pretty
Yeah.
decent for like a channel with 20,000 subs.
that's really well.
Yeah, it was really, really good. So anyway, ended up selling all them, ended up having to go pay for it. And they sent me the bill for, packaging all this stuff and just for getting all the stuff. And I think it came out to be almost $1,000 over because I'd already put all of my money away that I knew I had to put aside for this, and like I think I ended up coming out like almost breaking even because I put my I got all my income and I put everything away that I needed to spend, and I put the 10% away over the entire lot, over the 6,000, which was $600, and I ended up like down, I think $200-$300.
Well, at least you walked away somewhat.
Yeah. I know for larger orders
That's
it'd probably
just
be a lot worse, but
that's a rookie mistake.
it is a rookie mistake.
That's young, non-mature Zach.
Yeah.
Not fully reading everything.
Yeah.
When you're by yourself and you're starting out, you tend to not fully read everything.
Yeah.
But I think it's because you're trying to take on so much.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Like
I was doing a video a day and trying to do this merch stuff, and it just wasn't working. It's so difficult, so incredibly difficult to do. So I don't know how you do merch because I can't stand it. I can't stand shipping stuff.
It's
the worst.
you got to have a good system.
I stumbled into it all because I had little bits of experience in things, and I just we should do it this way. It's a little bit better. We should do this, and then now it's my job, and I really like it. I'm very passionate about it. Passionate about the website. Passionate about the merch. Dealing with different companies and stuff can be super stressful because
like today,
yesterday.
Before that.
Getting new things rolling is a stressful time, but then you get the payoff at the end,
Yeah.
And I'm sure you still got that payoff with your merch drop. Like,
oh yeah, it was cool.
You know,
I went to meets and I saw people that were wearing my shirt, and just one of those things is like, you just see it one time and it's like, yeah, cool.
We are in traffic and see that sticker on a car.
I can't wait.
Surely we're all gonna be
wait.
stoked. New challenge: first person we don't know with that sticker on.
Sounds good.
In public, we can't plant the seed.
Sounds good.
I'm like handing them out at car meets. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
have you seen a living 4x4 sticker on a car?
Yeah, they're everywhere around here.
Really?
I've seen one. I saw one at Fountain Gate Shopping Centre. I remember
Yeah.
sending it to like Adam, like, big boy over here with my big YouTube channel and lots of stickers.
Living 4x4 is like very condensed in Victoria. So like around this area, there's a lot of living stickers getting around, and basically like
Adam puts them on people's cars.
Yeah,
In
100%.
car
I was going around and
parks.
just slap them on. No. So like most modified four-wheel drives will wave because like all my videos were in locations around here.
Yeah, okay.
So like,
They're waving at me.
It was so lovely.
They love the
the
content.
people
They
just
give it
listening,
two
they
fingers up.
had their fingers up. But like most of my videos are at like Talangi, which is a local four-wheel driving spot, or at like Warburton, so it's a local four-wheel driving spot. So
Yeah,
all
so you
the
get that
locals are
organic search.
looking to find videos on their local place. So,
Yeah, fair enough.
so that's why it's very like
How do we do that with
Yeah.
podcasting? That's what we need to master that. We do podcasts in all the pretty areas or something. Today we're in high country.
To be fair, in the high country, top of a mountain podcast, the views.
Ooh, let's
Would be
do it.
fun.
one day.
Clarkson's farm.
Oh, can we speak about Clarkson's
We can
farm
speak
for
about that in a bit.
because
But not yet.
Not
I
yet.
still want to hear how else you monetize it all, because I just don't. I can't, like I'm doing like I played video games and it cost me this much. He built cars that should cost much more money.
No, so that's all I did. I never did any brand deals for money. The brand deals that I did is because I wanted to work with the brands. I don't know. I don't really like doing that sort of stuff. Like, let's say I'm not going to out a company, but I really want to out them though.
If you couldn't, that would be appreciated.
Yeah.
If you
no,
wouldn't,
certainly. So there's like a spray wax company that messages a lot of people, and you probably all know exactly who I'm talking about.
he sits here to it
Yeah.
rhymes with.
No, they basically they send everyone a message and they say, they were willing to pay me, I think, $1,000 or something like that for a video on this spray ceramic sealant or something like that. But at the time, I was really enjoying working with Bowden's products, and I was like, trying to get in with Bowden's, and now I have a really good relationship with Bowden's Own, where, every now and then I, not to be up there or anything with the high class people that I talk to, like you guys already know. But yeah, I was talking to Dan Bowden the other day just for fun, and stuff like that. Which
Wait, the owner of it.
the owner Dan Bowden, he was really nice. I actually have a video of him on my phone.
Don't have that sponsor, do we?
No. No.
Do you
Well,
have
the
a
thing
fallout
is-
or something?
Yeah, before when you brought it, didn't think of mentioning a certain automotive podcast.
Well, no.
Number one in Australia.
Well, no,
Surely
I-
the automotive podcast scene is not big in Australia.
Surely
Surely
not.
we can work our way up to number one.
Surely there's like one, and it's this
I
one.
know there's
Yeah.
gutter to gutter.
Yeah.
That's the only other one I've seen. That being said, I haven't looked super hard.
I think it's good that we haven't looked super hard because we're not copying off everyone.
Yeah, I find
We-
if
we
you
find
like,
it our own
if we
thing.
all consumed automotive podcasts, I feel like our it would not just bleed us; it would
Yeah.
bleed them.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's very fair. But yeah, no, I talk to Dan every now and then, and I use his products because I like those products, and I wouldn't sell myself out and go, okay, well now I'm going to completely drop Bowden's and I'm going to completely drop Dan, who I have a nice working relationship with, just so I can get a cheap $1,000 and quickly spray this shit on my car, and it's probably going to be crap. Yeah, no, I
And
especially
then feel obligated to use it.
yeah, exactly right. And the same sort of happened when I got my FD, because at that point, I think I had about 35,000 subscribers, and I had people messaging me left, right, and center for FD parts that wanted to just chuck these random carbon bits on my car, or wanted to just chuck this bonnet on my car. And I had to turn many, many, many people down because I just wanted to work with these specific companies. And I messaged those specific companies, and I think 50% of them got back to me with, we might be able to cut you a small deal. And I think I still ordered every part that I wanted to, from even if I was paying full price, because that's what I wanted to run on the car. So that's why I don't really take those types of sponsorships. I've never taken one of those sponsorships where they go, NordVPN, do this,
I
do
did
this
a
VPN
Nord,
service.
and then I didn't have a pleasant experience. I was like, I'm just not a fan.
Yeah.
But that was actually kind of my doing anyway. Like, I didn't. They give you a free 2-year trial at the highest plan. Then when that runs out, you know what you signed up for? 2-year trial, a 2-year subscription at the highest plan. And I'm like, whoa. I wanted to show you features, but I only need this one. Because at the time I was streaming and I needed a VPN.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's really interesting. So you were just kind of like, as it came, as it went, you made the content you could afford at the time.
Exactly right. Yeah. And so I also had been in it for, I did full time for about a year or so. And through that year was the start of COVID, and it was absolutely screwed
Good
up.
timing.
So, yeah, great timing. So end of 2019 is when I started YouTube, and I booked myself a holiday to go to Japan. I went to Japan, went to go see Samet, saw Samet.
Take a financial leap starting with
Yeah,
to Japan.
100%.
Yeah. It was a very cheap trip to Japan. I paid for the flights, and then Sam basically took me everywhere. And I think I paid for the drift day, and I think a few other little things, but it wasn't really that expensive, which was
That's
good.
really cool.
And then what else happened there? So yeah, I went to Japan, came back, and I did a whole bunch of stuff to the Falcon, whole bunch of stuff to the Skyline. And I think it was the second wave of COVID I think Melbourne got, is where the CPM started going like skyrocketing down. I went from a $3,000
I thought you were
month.
saying up. I was like, oh, nice.
Yeah, no. Sorry, I wouldn't say
Skyrocketing.
skyrocketing.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah,
I'm like,
skyrocketing down.
Yeah.
the podcast views are skyrocketing.
It was plummeting. It was crashing and
Yeah.
burning. So yeah, I did a $3,000 month in April, and then a $4,000 month, and a $5,000 month, and I'm like, oh, I'm doing it really well. It hasn't gone down since. And then the next month, I think, was when the second wave hit, and I went down to a $1,000 month when it wasn't supposed to. And I was like, ooh, all right, that's not good. And that was the same month that I also broke the trans in the FD. So that was like, much like you with your Supra, I had a $5,000 repair bill, and I earned $1,000 that month, plus trying to pay for food and for my merch order that I fucked up, and for my rent and everything else as well. So,
But you're also trying to spend money to make more content as well.
exactly right. So
Yeah,
imagine
that scares me. the idea
Imagine
of that.
over the month that I was doing YouTube, that I was full time, right? I had a Skyline that I couldn't legally drive because it was unregistered and I had no license for it. And I had a Falcon that was broken that needed the $5,000 repair, and I only got $1,000 that month.
Yeah, so that terrified the fact that
Yeah.
like I literally could fire up my computer now, install one program, and be producing content
Exactly right.
like
yeah.
for free. Like the expense was a $5,000 computer every year if I wanted to be real bougie.
Yeah. So I made it work anyway. So in that month, I decided if the Falcon was broken, I'd strip the whole interior apart and I'd do sound deadening in it, because I wanted to do something really cheap over that month. And so I ordered like $300 worth of sound deadening, and
Oh, real cheap.
yeah, like it was pretty good. Like I think some of them, like car builders, put it out like $1,200 or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I ordered Pingjing. We wouldn't have a clue what it was called, but it was pretty good at the time. And I got like one of those light up headliner things. So it was like the Rolls Royce sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that video popped
Yeah.
off. It went crazy, and people loved it. And I managed to work my way back up after that month. But yeah, no, it's just trying to find like little things out of big things that you can.
It always seems to be like, and Adam will agree from like read and stuff, like the unique ideas. It doesn't matter how much you spend on a video.
Yeah,
a
easily.
$30 video
Yeah.
can go way better than a
Easily.
$10,000.
So like with Reet, because that's the YouTube channel I'm most involved with.
Yep.
We like spend so much money on drift cars and all that sort of stuff. You do one stupid video,
dose video.
or you go and get a HSP.
well,
and
yeah,
a VL.
the HSP one's a shocking one.
It's
for me.
just so you literally just do that and it goes off.
So for people that don't watch the HSP ones, what are they?
Literally, we get in the VL, drive down, eat a HSP, and drive back. That is the video.
Chase wanted to drive the VL. We wanted HSPs. Let's make a video of that.
Yep.
So then,
Went well.
yeah, that went well. So then when Hurt was here, we were like, well, Hurt's a food guy. He likes that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So we're like, well, we'll put Hurt in a VL and we'll drive down to HSPs, get a HSP with Hurt,
I think
get
it
his
was
opinion on the VL, get his opinion on HSPs, and then drive back.
Yep.
And
I
it popped
think
off.
it's an accidental perfect mix.
Yeah.
Like you've got the VL, which the rest of the world doesn't have. That's crazy. And then you've got HSPs, which not the rest of the world does.
Mm.
And I think that's what it is. You're like showing people two unique things. And then you've got the Australian viewers like
Yeah.
just like get around it, like damn right going to get a VL,
Yeah,
HSP in your
100%.
VL.
It's like, yeah. So it's just something as dumb as that does so much better than something that we spend a lot of time on.
Is there a video on there that they've spent a lot of money on and had almost zero return?
I wouldn't say zero return.
There's no zero. I feel like the
Yeah.
WAGs build is a huge outlay, and
Yeah, very true. Yeah.
the series can't.
If
go-
you're talking like purely from YouTube videos,
yeah,
that is like an awful ROI. Like
Yeah.
from a whole business
Building a drift
perspective.
car and drifting it is a
Yeah.
horrible
Every
return
time
on
he has
investment.
every time it gets wrapped or has a bingle though, whew, goes pretty well.
Yeah.
When
Mm.
you know people want to see you crush your $100,000 race car.
that drifting your drift car is the worst return on investment you can have in a
I
YouTube channel.
know.
It's so weird.
It's
It's
so
really
annoying.
weird.
People, please watch
You're
driving content.
building the car to drive it, and then you drive it, and they're like, nah,
Nah, it's not
Yeah.
that enjoyable.
Literally, you get more views on the build videos than you drive it, and then you get like
Yeah.
half the views.
So I did like even the BRZ. I put brakes on the BRZ. I put suspension in the BRZ. Both those videos I think
Nice.
collectively had like 10,000 views. Went to Phillip Island and got 1K views.
and tested the brakes and noise
Yeah.
and suspension.
got 1K.
I don't really want to see what it does.
Yeah.
All right,
It's
Adam,
funny. I love it.
living. How
Um,
we dive through those with two rigs, you know,
Yeah.
two people
So-
involved,
Two tough rigs.
two tough rigs in high country.
There's a few sort of things going on. So like, there's the obvious one of financials was just wrecking both Sam and I,
Mm-hmm.
and especially with Sam's car as it is right now. Like to be
Yeah.
continuously doing heads on that car
Mm.
is an extremely expensive process because like these motors, they're not just like, oh, that's motor stuffed, I'll just buy another one, Jay, or something like that. Doesn't exist. You can't buy this motor again. The only way to get another one of this motor is to trade your motor, but your motor has to be working.
Right.
So like
What
the block,
engine
the
is it?
block
What?
side of things, it's a 1HD.
Oh, yep. Okay.
That's a high definition.
Yeah,
of,
one.
of
you-
the
you-
one SD.
Yeah.
is
Honestly,
just-
I'd be looking at the one UHD to be
Yeah,
honest, like the
yeah.
ultra high
Oh,
def.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I think
So-
that's the best one.
So it's a 4.2?
4K.
I think it's a 4.2,
4.3,
6-cylinder turbo diesel. Then there's the 1HD FTE, which there's a lot less of them, but they're better.
Okay.
Blah blah blah. But like, it's really you used to be able to find them and just buy like another motor. Like if you were having these issues right now, you probably would just buy another motor instead of trying to figure out what the hell's going on. It's not a thing anymore. So you have to like work with what you've got. So to be continuously trying to fix this thing, trying to find heads for this car is just so difficult. So like he's spent, I don't even want to know how much on this motor, and like zero content out of it because it's literally like the thing doesn't work.
Mhm.
Fix it, it doesn't work again.
Yeah.
Fix it, it doesn't work again.
Yeah, you
Like,
can only do that so much before.
yeah, you
you've
can make
got
one
the-
video on it,
Mm.
really, and it's still not working.
Mm.
So
Horrible return on investment.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it's just things like that. So obviously the financial side of things, let alone Sam's car, like going out for a day four-wheel driving is expensive, even if you don't break anything.
How much is it if you don't break anything?
Well, it
Like
depends where
what?
you go.
Ballpark me. Close high country.
Close hike, like a weekend trip.
Day trip. Just want to go bang out a video testing your new
Day trip
muddy tires.
of four-wheel driving.
Really stretching
and
my
and you
vocabulary.
and you literally don't break
Yeah,
anything.
nothing breaks.
That's rough. That's
It's
doesn't
the
exist.
perfect. All
The
the,
perfect
stars
day.
have aligned.
Basically a tank of fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Plus the food and drinks.
yeah, food and drinks, but you're gonna get food and drinks for yourself anyway.
Fair enough.
Right,
If
even
you
that's
were
more
at home.
expensive than making a Minecraft channel, though.
It's like that's perfect, but that never happens.
Yeah.
That's not a thing
It's unheard of.
unless you're like doing little bitch forward driving and it's not real forward driving.
But then no one's going to want to watch
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Then no one watches it, so then there's
Yeah.
no point in filming it. It's like this whole spend money to make money, but
You gotta
but
break
you
it
don't
to
make a
make
lot
it.
of money. Yeah, so that's that. Then there was the physical time to do it. So the videos were long and they were big and they had a lot of things going on. And for like I just edited all the videos, so there's a lot of time to do that. And then from a personal life perspective, I had a few things happening. So like when Live 4x4 was sort of going off, it was COVID times. So that put like a unease about it all. It's like, oh, you don't really want to pursue that because what if like this COVID thing keeps going, which it did, as you know.
Mhm.
It kept going.
Mm-hmm. It didn't stop.
I think
You guys copped it down here,
Did
though.
you try doing a really successful merch drop?
it was basically like 2 years of not being able to do anything down here.
Yeah.
So it was sort of unease there, and then there's a few
Still play
things,
Minecraft.
just like a few things in the personal life, like with Maddie, she got diagnosed with MS. That sort of like changes, I don't know, change perspective on a lot of things.
What's important?
Yeah, what's important. And
worth
it's
the
like,
time.
is really going out and thrashing my car and breaking it all the time important when I, like, it just
Not-
sort of
even the
changes things.
stress that extra stress that
Mm.
would add.
Yeah.
You know,
Like, that's not the whole reason,
Mm.
but it's just like,
a
it's,
sample.
yeah, it's something that added to it all and just
Mm.
made it harder for me to want to do it full time. I was like sort of becoming less interested in it because I wanted to do other things. Then I got the job at REIT and that was like a whole new experience. Like never been involved with drifting or anything like that. So I was like, this is just hectic.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like
It
blown
never ends.
away by it all. And I was just, I don't know, I got a lot of different interests. But the podcast is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I sprung upon you.
Yeah.
I'm full. I'm getting real control. Guys, podcast.
I feel it's good. I feel like we've outlaid as much as we need to for now,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is good.
Yeah, 100%.
You guys can hear our voices in
I could
ultra high
spend so
def.
much more money on this. but
Actually,
I'm
yeah,
not
I
going
could.
to.
Have you seen the amount of podcast equipment that we could buy?
This chair.
Oh,
This set.
imagine chairs. Oh, that'd be so good. Yeah, no,
It would be good.
yeah, it's sore.
If you want to sponsor a chair, buy a sticker.
Yeah.
And that
Or
will
give
be,
us
get
chairs.
you one chair. So I wanted to ask you guys, favorite video,
Oh.
least favorite video you've ever made.
And I had something else to add. I just
Oh.
got my notes up, because I had like the same thing in there.
Ah,
Mhm.
all right.
So my channel, Will Livin', was at a point where a lot of people were reaching out to you as sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say we didn't go into the money side, but I didn't think you wanted to.
So, like, we're involved with some local companies which we really like, and they're really good. Then you get all these other companies coming out of the woodworks that want to give you money and give you all this stuff, but you just it either clashes.
Yeah, I agree.
Or you're just like, I don't really want to be that guy with that product. Because in the four-wheel drive world, there is a lot of companies that just like spam influencers, basically.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, it's the same in the other worlds as
Oh,
well.
certainly. Yeah.
But it's like they're offering all this money, and that's how you compensate for how much everything costs. But like, I really like these local companies that we've got, even though they don't financially support, like they don't give you money, but they help out a lot,
Mhm.
and it feels a lot better to help these like local companies that you've seen grow from like very small
Yeah,
to
and people
like
that have helped
having
you grow from being very small as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, they get on board so
Yeah.
early.
but they're not these like huge companies that can go, we're going to give you $10,000 in a car and we're going to go on all these trips and all this stuff and you're going to talk
Podcast
about all that.
goals, though, right?
Yeah.
Mhm. Exactly right.
But I just like when that was all happening, it like almost turned me off a little bit because like it was felt weird declining a lot of these like offers just so you can like stay true to what you need to do. But I feel like it's really important to stay true to what you need to do. But then it's like just had people hounding all the time, like, well, you got to do it because if you want to do it properly, you need to do all this stuff. And
you got
need
to think
be
of
in
it
with
as
this
a
company.
business rather than
It's just like,
anything. And
that's
it's
not
yeah,
that's not who I am to represent those companies.
Exactly
like,
right.
I don't
It
want
was
to be the face of those companies.
Really interesting to hear that from both of you guys because like that is not a problem for me. Like it was never like I literally could shout out one game, next game. Like it's just like oh yeah, that's enjoyable. Yeah, I tried that. I was like you guys. I was super particular about the people I got behind. Like
Yeah.
I went and played their Minecraft server, and if I liked it, then I'd promote it.
like let's say though, like I don't know about your sort of realm, but let's
I
say
can give you
the
an
local EB Games decided that they would give you all of the brand new games at cost price, so that way you could play them, you could put them up on your channel, and then Blizzard comes out and says, okay, we want you to be 100% on Blizzard. You don't play any other different games apart from Blizzard games, and we'll give you $1,000 a month just to play these games. And then you've been working with this, little tiny EB Games that's, privately owned and everything else as well, and they've been helping you out for, 2 years.
So
and
it's
then,
just not like realistically a thing though. Like it,
well,
like
yeah,
in-
it's kind of like how we,
But like
Yeah,
the
for us, it
only
wasn't.
the only way that I survived was with these like 3 sponsors helping, like
Yeah.
tires at cheaper price or sometimes giving tires,
Mhm.
and like doing like I have a auto elect, shout out Pro Wire Auto Electrics, he's the best. Shane, he's helped out so much, like just random problems with the cars, old 4-wheel drives, electrical issues galore, and like
I thought that would be really simple. That's
nah, because you add so much
Oh
shit onto it.
yeah.
Like the amount of times he would come out and just fix the car, and I don't have to like. He wouldn't ask for anything to do that. It was just like for the main videos. If we did something big on the car, then he would like go. I mean, he never really ask for anything. It was just always. But like, say
It's how it should be.
if my battery died, like I could just call him and he'd be like, "Yeah, I'll get Steve or I'll drop it off like now," and no issues.
Yeah.
Like that wouldn't happen with a bigger company.
Yeah, no, you don't get that like small, like one-on-one. But then obviously you don't get that big ass budget where
Exactly.
we're willing to like just dump a heap of money into this. Just shout us out every video for this long.
Yeah,
at
there's
this
no
point,
personality there.
Yeah,
but there's
you're
people
like,
that
you're a number to them.
people
whereas
that are
these people,
literally
you're a
like,
person.
we're going to give you our car and you're going to drive that car and you're going to go on trips with that car.
There's a mouse pad.
Yeah, but I'm just
Yeah.
tapping, like that's
Yeah.
sort of what it was like.
Yeah.
And it's like, then where's living 4x4
Yeah.
in that?
Mm.
Like that's not what it is. Living 4x4 was built off of like sort of grassroots companies, grassroots 4-wheel drive, and like the local boys, I guess.
Mm.
That's what it was. It wasn't like we're gonna go on these massive like corporate
Yeah.
trips. That's pretty much.
Yep.
Well,
what
that's
it's
what
turning
it like.
into.
It seems like it becomes then too. It's not like this, like what it's about. It's about a trip, like because I've seen other influencers take on like car brand deals, and it's like we're gonna drive a completely stock car in a pretty average place because the company doesn't want us to try to take it through a water fountain, like a waterfall. Yeah, and it's like I get what they're doing, and I'm sure there are other people that would appeal to, but it is definitely not their core audience.
Yeah, certainly.
But like, it just does not sit right with me at all to like burn these companies that have helped so much out of pretty much the goodness of their hearts a lot of the times because they wanted to.
Usually
help
they
you.
start from nothing as well, and
Yeah.
they put everything into you, and they
Well,
want to
we
see.
joined up
something,
with these
yeah.
companies when they were starting out,
Yeah.
basically. So like we were starting out, they were starting out. So we've literally, and everyone's grown, everyone's done well. So like I can't, like morally, it just doesn't sit right with me to take on other people that conflict with them.
Yeah.
And what we have pretty much covers all bases.
Even if
So,
you end up not making as much money and you have to spend money because you're still paying cost price and you're still helping them out at the same time, which is good. I feel like that's definitely a good thing.
Like that makes me want to make videos
Exactly right.
rather than making videos because these big companies are paying
Yeah.
heaps of money.
Do you have I mean, I guess you have a few companies now that you definitely will 100% be working with all the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, weirdly enough, I didn't hear this name for a long time, but ever since I was out of Falcons, Maculek.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys use him through Keep It Read.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard his name in years. And as it turns out, when I first started doing the Falcon stuff, me and him were talking before I'd even did YouTube. And then I started YouTube and I bought one of his kits at cost price because he wanted to help me out and he was really small. And then we made a turbo side intake setup thing video, ended up going absolutely mental, and he ended up getting like hundreds and hundreds of orders of this one little thing.
Yep.
And it was my first video on his first big sale thing. And then he sent me more parts and more parts and more parts. And I don't think he ever gave them for free, but I was always paying a little bit. And then I think a company came out and they wanted to do it like even cheaper again or even for free. And I had to keep going, no, I kind of want to keep paying for these ones. But it's cool to see these companies like Maculek is huge now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he still works for himself, but he kind of likes it that way. And he's doing really well
He's
for
a
himself.
local boy to us. He's literally down the road.
Yeah, he's at Ferntree, isn't he? Ferntree Gully?
No clue.
I don't know if it's
Don't even know who
classified
it
as
is.
that, but it's very close.
I need to go see him again. I haven't seen him in years. He's a super nice guy, though. So, yeah.
I honestly
Mackie.
don't know how you do so many things, Zach. I like, oh yeah, I'm friends with this person. I was at this meet. I was at this. It's like you have an extra weekend over us or something.
I don't stop.
Don't get it.
Yeah,
I don't sleep, as you can't tell.
1,000 car videos. Mate.
Favorite video,
Yeah.
most hated video on your channels.
Do you want to go first? I've just
I
spoken.
need to think.
All right, I'll go because I already know.
So you already know.
yeah.
All right.
So the video that first got me off the ground was a video that was I tried to put an exhaust on my XR6 Turbo and I failed miserably because I couldn't get the pipe up over the diff.
Yeah.
So anyway, I left it at a diff dump and I made a video of me driving a straight pipe turbo Falcon through Brisbane City. And I had a GoPro Hero 3 at the time. So I put the Hero 3 up in my car. And as you know, they are the most peaky, horrible, non-bassy mics ever.
Awful microphones.
Yeah, absolutely awful microphones. So anyway, I put the GoPro up in my car and I said, all right, today, guys, I'm going to drive across Brisbane in my straight pipe turbo Falcon. Hopefully I don't get caught because I'm obviously not someone that likes
Because
to get...
I can't afford that.
Yeah, I don't want to get caught by police because I'm ultra terrified of police and I hate the thought of ever getting pulled over. So yeah, I needed to get to a friend's place who was going to help me fit this exhaust. And so I made a video of me driving what I thought was crazy rowdy at the time, a straight pipe turbo Falcon across Brisbane. Turned on the car. You could obviously hear it cold start, but realistically you couldn't hear shit at all. And I thought it was ridiculous. I'm going like I'm acting like Clay Wong on this sort of stuff. I'm going, oh my God, guys, this is the craziest car that I've ever heard. But I was freaking out like crazy and I was trying to like really upplay it. Anyway, drove across Brisbane and you couldn't hear anything whatsoever. And then, yeah, the video ended up going crazy. My first 100,000 view video and everyone in the comments was roasting me about it. But I ended up getting like 5,000 subs from it. So that's good. But yeah, no, everyone was roasting me in the comments about it. And that video, I think, is still number 10 or something on my channel, which sucks. But yeah, that's my most hated video.
Hated?
Yeah, my most hated video is ironically the video that got me the most viewers. Early on, kind of started it. So I guess it can't really be my most hated, but I don't know what my most...
Is that like your personally most hated, or is that just your
My
most
personally
hated
most
in the
hated.
comments? That's your personally
Yeah,
most hated.
personally
Yeah, I
most
was going
hated.
to say how toxic the gaming community are when I do my ones.
What's your most hated video?
No, I want to hear your most liked.
I'll have to think about it for 2 seconds.
All right.
Yeah.
I got a PlayStation 4, I think, when it first came out or something. It was a sponsored deal. That they just give it to you.
Yep.
The gaming deals seem so much different to car deals.
It just seems less complicated.
Yeah. It's like, we give you this for free or we give you money, sometimes both. I think that was that deal, or maybe I bought this PlayStation, the PlayStation 4 I got for free. I can't remember. But I unboxed it because I was like, I like watching unboxing videos. I don't know why. I like seeing what's in there. It's something...
Yeah,
obviously, they're
unbox therapy
popular.
back in the day.
Yeah.
I love
so,
that.
He still makes some like killer
I
videos too.
don't follow him at
It's
all. But
so good.
I used to follow every single video. It's so good.
So I unboxed this PlayStation, bit of banter, bit of crap. It's probably my first ever video showing my face, so it got a bit more hype than any other video. Then it got posted on a certain website, which I won't say because I just don't want the bad mojo to come back. And they were told to call me a very inappropriate thing with children. And that video, I swear, got to like 250,000 views. And it was really weird because like I think anyone that organically went to my channel and just kind of sussed it was like, none or whatever's on this like video is not true. But I was super, like, my YouTube was my life. So to have like all these people like blowing me up, and then it was this big like thing because like money was tight, and suddenly I've just got this really well-paying video, and I'm like, I don't want to delete it because then it looks like a guilt thing, but I leave it up and I'm sitting there trying to defend myself, and it was a very interesting
How did that
situation.
even come about? Was it just a random website just decided to just make this up?
Haters, bro, haters. Like,
that's crazy.
They jump on board. Back then it was just so much more intense. Like I remember like me and this YouTuber had a huge rivalry. We're like friendly now, but like you would just go at each other. Like the drama was real in the Minecraft community. And like I remember like he told people to dislike my video, so I told them to dislike his, but I was like 5 times the size at the time, so every one of his video had like 500 dislikes. He's like, I'm getting paid good, and I'm like, your ratio looks shit. Like it was Minecraft's toxic. Like we all just lived it, you know. It was our lives. But yeah, that would be my, I don't even think most disliked, but like one of those like that was crappy. Most liked video would not be a video, it'd be a series, like my hardcore series. I took so much pride in that, and like I felt like I was paving my own little path there for something.
Is this on that special website you were telling me about, or YouTube?
What? Oh yeah. My hardcore series is on the special website.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, I know, right?
It took me so long to get.
I had to like relay the information to that. Yeah, no. So hardcore Minecraft, you put all your time in to build your pretty castle. You die, you have to delete the world. You literally have to click delete. You can cheat out of it. But yeah, I took so much pride in that, and like the time and effort and the creativity side of it. And yeah, that series, it was like the one that just built, like it was the train, the snowball effect. And so I'd say that's probably my like favorite thing was the original hardcore series, because I had 3 seasons, I think.
Nice. That's hell good.
Not too bad, not too bad. Told you mine's toxic though.
That's crazy.
My personally least favorite video I've ever done was a sponsored video.
Really?
Hated
I
it.
don't take deals from me.
That was the only one that I took. It was back in the day, and I was like, never again.
Yep.
That's sort of why I sit like this. I made one video on it. It didn't suit the car. It didn't suit me. You had to say certain things, and I was like, this is just awful. I put it up, and I just
Make him happy.
Was the pay worth it? Was
Nah.
it? Nah.
pay was not worth it.
Yeah.
Didn't cover anything. I put stuff on my car that I took off after the video because it just didn't work on the car. Like it wasn't a thing that it needed. It was silly to have it. Like
That's fair
it just didn't make sense. I don't want to say what it was because it will reveal the company. So that is my least favorite video that I've ever
most
done.
commented podcast, just everyone picking. I love when you leave things like a certain website. I'm like, it's gonna be this.
Most favorite, I don't really know because a lot of mine are like memories sort of things, like from
Because you're
trips.
like remembering experiences.
Like
Yeah.
YouTube's like a journal.
Oh,
Yeah.
No.
It's the High Country Journal.
no. Like honestly, probably one of the favorite ones I like to watch is the first High Country video that I ever made.
Oh my god,
Oh.
I called it. Oh my god, I was right for once.
I didn't even own a 4-wheel at that point. It was my first time ever in the High Country. And it was just a cool experience. We did some famous tracks and stuff. It's a good time. So then just going back to it, and like you're so like small back then, so it was like maybe 1,000 subscribers, maybe, I'm not sure. So you're literally just making Like I never really took it that seriously. Like I'm gonna be a YouTuber.
You just
It's
do what
just
you
like
want.
I'm gonna make videos. That was my process.
That's another
Yeah.
weird thing with this podcast is we've come into it much more seriously than you would if you were just starting your first ever YouTube channel, because we've all already had that, you know.
Mm.
Very interesting.
So I probably like that's definitely not. There's so many things wrong in that video, like from a video making side. But I just like to watch it. It's
Yep, fair enough.
Like it's just nice for me to watch. I don't think everyone else likes to watch it. I mean, it did for the time that I put it up. It did very well
Yeah.
with the views.
I just had a mad
cool.
idea before Zachary says his favorite thing. We'll go full Mighty Car Mods mode. Zachary can make the music and do the vocals.
It won't be good music.
No, you told us you've played every violin.
The violin's not really a
I really
gangster
hope-
instrument. It's kind of like a classical kind
I
of
want to
thing.
see some Lindsay Sterling
Ah.
dancing on the table for the
Have
podcast.
you ever heard like a hardcore Lindsay Sterling song though? Like it's kind of
I can't remember.
yeah.
I
don't
liked
know.
her. I liked when she did it like live and you could hear it like as she was playing. And then I love the like fantasy crazy ones she does because I'm like, damn, that's so cool. Like to think like, yep, this is what I'm gonna make this video. You know.
All right, so if you think that my 18-year-old self that could play violin is anywhere close to Lindsay Sterling's ability to play, it's you're
You
very
said-
badly mistaken.
You said drifting's easy,
Yep.
You're like,
and I can play this instrument.
I'm a full blown magician. I could be full time.
Magician.
When was it?
Magician. Musician. Oh my god. I'm distracted.
When did I say I was
Oh
a
my
magician?
Zach's like,
But
when did I say this?
This brings up another
You
story.
can picture him as a magician.
Yeah,
though.
yeah, 100%.
100%.
When
Just has
with
that
glasses
vibe,
and no
vibe,
lenses.
Glasses with no lenses.
Yeah.
They're magic glasses.
Oh god.
Bing!
That's not good.
And the rabbit will disappear out of my hand.
Oh, it's late. All right, I'm tired.
That's fair. What time is it? It's almost 11. No.
Almost time for
Almost
Zachary
10.
to tell us his favorite video
All right.
and the magician story.
The magician story. No. I think my favorite. Sorry. I think my favorite video so far. It's the only one I can really think of at this moment in time because I do have 1,000 videos on there. I'm sure if I
I
look
can
through
remember
it.
every single one of mine.
Could you really?
Not really. A lot, though.
I'd have to look at the
Surprising
title,
amount.
I reckon, and find it. But I think the most memorable, when I was first going full time, I basically quit my full time job, and the day after, or the night of, I ended up leaving for a road trip to come down to Melbourne and do a car meet. So I did a car meet in Brisbane the night I finished my job, and then I drove straight to Newcastle, and I
do
did
so much.
yeah, I did it. I did a Newcastle meet the next night. So I drove halfway to Newcastle, slept in the car, and then outside of Coffs Harbour's Macca's, and then drove to
Really?
Newcastle. Yeah, it was fun.
Is this the fort?
Yeah, in the Falcon.
Oh,
yeah.
if you dare
Yeah,
said,
no.
not the RX-7.
No, not the Skyline, not the BRZ. I slept in the BRZ once. That was kind of fun. But yeah, no, definitely not as touring capabilities as your tough rigs. But yeah,
When
no.
Zachary was at Phillip Island, I went to he left before us, and I caught up to him, and I was like, I'll go say, hey, we're gonna drive the same way. I'll go to pop up to his car. He's getting undressed.
It was a hot afternoon, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
It was
it was.
crazy. It was, and I wasn't dressed for it as well, was I?
Yeah, no.
I had my full length.
Long sleeve clothing
full-length
to
long
race, and it's
sleeve.
like a 40-degree day.
We went down. You drive me down to the beach,
Yeah.
and we were out there having burgers and shit like that, and everyone's out with their singlets and their shorts, and I'm sitting in here with full length long sleeve shoes on. I'm black head
And
to
I
toe
told
with a
him,
helmet
Zach,
and everything
everyone's
else as
looking
well.
at us. You're
Yeah.
wearing a helmet in here. Take the helmet off.
It was so bad. But yeah, no, I think, yeah, so I did a Newcastle meet, like Brisbane the first night, Newcastle the next night, and then I did a Melbourne meet the next night. So I drove to Melbourne in two and a half days or something like that, and did a meet every single night, and then drove halfway to the next location, and then the rest of the way, and then did a meet.
Surely the first podcast tour. That sounds
That'd
cool.
be it's cool.
Road trip
doing an East
in the
Coast tour.
RX-7.
Ooh, we're
Fuck
going.
no.
Is that two? Is that
We're
only
going a
Tuesday?
kilometer down the road, boys.
We're trying to
speed ups in Zach's driveway.
We're trying to start the car. It's not working. Yeah. So I ended up doing videos the whole way down. Like this, I did the show that night, edited in the car, and then uploaded at the Macca's the next morning, and then kept driving, and then
The upload at Macca's.
the upload at Macca's was fucked.
I don't know what that would be like.
Yeah. So anyway, I did a video in Melbourne, and I was driving into Melbourne, and I was like, damn, this is a freaking cool place. Like I've been down here a few times, and I kind of want to move down here. And I brought that up in videos, and I went through the Dandenong Ranges, and then I went and did a car meet. I met Rex for the first time. And it was the first car meet that I did by myself, and I made a meet, and we filled up an entire Macca's car park, just hundreds of people, thousands of people, and hundreds of cars.
What big ass Macca's?
My local Macca's has like maybe 20
Sorry,
cars.
did I say Macca's? I said Bunnings. Did
Oh,
I? Sorry, did I?
You said Macca's.
Did I say Macca's? Sorry.
I'm thinking of the one around the corner from here. I'm like, I think there's like
it's tiny.
No.
He said 1,000 people. I'm like, oh my god.
Is it Bunnings, like Oakley? Is that a place here?
Yeah.
Bunnings Oakley. We filled
there's
up
the
that entire
big
car park.
painting on the wall across from it's a car wash. I grew up
think
in that
so.
area.
Yeah. I Bunnings Oakley. I just hosted that I was going to be there at this time, and thousands of people rocked up. And
Called the Links.
there you go. I wouldn't have had a clue. I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know. I rocked up there in my car after driving 6 hours. I hadn't stopped. I opened the car door, and I didn't move from that car door for I think maybe 4 hours talking to people. Just everyone just coming around, just talking. And then I think at the end of the night, I got around with my camera and I filmed some stuff. And then the next morning, I woke up and I wanted to be real wholesome. And I'm like, this is crazy. I've just started full time.
You slept in the car in that spot still.
No, I had people
got a buddy snag. Oh, life's perfect.
Full time YouTube life.
I rarely had any money at all. I didn't have anything. I was waiting for that YouTube paycheck to come in.
See, does that
just
not
then, and then
surprise you?
Yeah.
He's like, I didn't have any money, so I did a cross Australia road trip.
well, I knew I was staying with people along the
Yeah.
way that would feed me, and I only had to my only outgoing was fuel at the time. And I think the Falcon's not too bad. I
Yeah,
think I
not
only spent like $2,000 on fuel that trip. Or
It's
something.
a long way. That's a lot further than South Australia.
Yeah, it's Brisbane or Melbourne, and I did the full coastal road.
Still,
and
you're
stuff.
just not
Yeah,
making
if you're
it
going
sound
down,
like
if you're
a
going down
viable
the
thing.
if you're going down the coast, it's long
Yeah,
and it's hilly too. There's a lot
yeah.
of mountains there.
Yeah. So yeah, I made a real wholesome video about being in Melbourne for the first time. I'm like, this is pretty cool. There's some amazing people down here, and I kind of am thinking about moving down here. And 2 years later, I moved down here. And I still look back on that video and go, yeah, all those things are amazing. Like I came down here and I wanted to wash my car, and some guy was like, hey, come to my house. I own a detailing place and you can come wash your car here. And then I met up with Stefan, who owns Fresh G6E or something. You might have seen it.
Possibly.
Or something.
Seen a lot
If
of
I showed you
Cabrini,
the
I've
photo,
seen
you'd
it.
probably know it. But he was a really nice guy. And then I met up with a whole bunch of people I'd spoken to. Did this car meet. We all cruised together. Then we all cruised home together. I met hundreds of people that night. Made a video. The video went really well. And Melbourne is fucking nice. So I'm like, yeah, screw it. It was really, really cool. But yeah, that road trip was amazing. So I did, Melbourne. And then I went back up to Bathurst. And I held a meet at the Chicane at...
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was one of my really fun videos. As you come over Skyline, then you come into like the S's.
No.
Okay.
No idea, mate.
Okay. All right. Well, at the top of the mountain, there's a Skyline, and then the Chicane as you come down, sort of down the hill into the S's. I held a car meet with I think about 20 people there, and we did laps of the track at 60 k's an hour, just cruising, which was kind of cool.
That's cool.
A lot of people came from Sydney that had never been to Bathurst before and just wanted to catch up.
For the one viewer
Yeah.
that doesn't know, since let's face it, we're very Australian based. Bathurst is racetrack on a public road.
Yeah,
Yep.
correct. Well, yeah, public road that's on a racetrack.
That's
Yeah,
actually
I feel like it's a racetrack that they let you drive on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
much.
yeah.
Yeah. People live around it, but they close it off completely during races, which would be kind
Nah,
of
they
funny if
shouldn't.
they didn't. But yeah, no, I held a meet there, and then the next night I went to Sydney. So I did a big figure eight all the way down the coast, and it was the best drive I've ever been on. And I loved
That's
it.
actually sounds really cool. Like,
Yeah, 100%
yeah.
we should do it though. I love doing road trips. Road trips are fun.
Yeah, I can't wait to try to convince our same boss, that we all want the same
Oh yeah, so we
time
all
off.
want a week off. I thought that'd be fun.
Would
Yeah.
be.
We'll do it one day.
I'm down. We'll make it work.
I kind of really want to do
What
this.
time are
shitbox
we
rally.
going?
What
Don't
date?
pull Sarah
Set
on me.
set a date.
Wow.
Oh wow.
You straight up just called it
Right,
out.
yeah, we were just
I'm gonna
taking
call
a
out
joke.
Sarah whenever I can. I hope she's not going to listen to these. So
Episode 4, baby.
Hey,
She probably
we're
listened to
over
episode 8.
halfway.
Halfway there.
Hey, we
Sing
are.
for us. So no experience in magic?
no experience
not?
in magic because I'm not a magician.
You want to
Oh, sorry.
cast
Should
a
be.
spell to end this episode?
I can actually. Giving a quick shout out to Sticker Socials. Sticker Socials, you can grab little nameplates and name tags to put on your car, on your laptop, or anything, and it's all done interactively on www.stickersocials.com. I'm
He
pretty
checked
sure
it
is.
out.
Yeah, I did because you showed me. You forced me to
I forced
look at
him
it.
to check it
Like,
out.
look, listen, and look at this website.
He held a
alright?
gun to my head and said I have to say this. But no, Sticker Socials, go check it out. You can also go check out the new stickers that we have for the Washed Up Club, the circle stickers
A new
and the
design.
regular prints.
We wanted that logo basically since we commissioned that logo before the first episode was live and
And
did
we-
not receive it.
I only got it until episode 3.
Yeah.
Maybe?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. Episode 3.
That was
anyway.
a little bit of a stressor because when you're setting up a podcast, they're very serious about not using other artwork.
So yeah, I guess you guys better rate the
Check it out.
rate the podcast better than we rated the Fiverr guy. And
We rated him well, I promise. He's very nice.
So rate us 5 stars on Uber. Make sure
100%.
to share us with all your friends because we're not a niche random video on YouTube about how to work DaVinci. Fucking like you were saying the other day. Sorry, that's a really
That was
terrible
a
joke.
really in joke. It's sort of a you had to
You
be
had
there.
to be in our
I love
workplace
making
for
a
that one.
niche joke for a niche audience, being us three. Sorry, I realize I've turned into this video on YouTube you're watching about Da Vinci, but I'm going to start milking this. Fucking hell.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening.
We also
Goodbye.
have a video podcast.
Yes.
Yes, if you go like us on YouTube, subscribe to us on YouTube, that's where you can see us in person.
We're on everything. So
We're
if
on
you've
everything.
been sent this on Spotify, we're on whatever else you want to
Yeah,
use.
you wouldn't see us waving to the cameras right now if
Yeah.
you were on Spotify. Hello, everyone.
Oh, Adam's giving us one finger up.
Thank you so much, everyone, for listening, guys. We very much appreciate it, and we'll see you all for episode 5. I'm
Yep.
pretty sure.
Bye.
All right.
See
Group
you.
kiss.